January 21st, 2025. Donald Trump was inaugurated yesterday. I guess the question is, how am I feeling about it? Not good. He's shifting our culture. That I don't like. Let me explain. I remember when Michael Vick was caught in that federal crime of dogfighting. He would go on to prison, apologize for it, never appeal his criminal conviction, do some charitable work for animal abuse, and then he was able to come back to the NFL and play football and be a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. I supported it. I loved it. Do I like dogfighting and animal abuse? No, of course not. But I understand, the full story. I mean, he grew up in a community, somewhere in Virginia where that kind of stuff happened. And, you can see how he goes back to his hometown or something like that. And he still wants to be part of that, the people, that were doing it. And it was a mistake. He shouldn't have done it. He got caught and he did everything he was supposed to do. He apologized, etc. Trump, never apologized for Obama's birth certificate. And that still irks me because that's how he came into my attention back in 2015, I think it was, when suddenly he's saying, I don't think Obama wasn't born in America. Where's his birth certificate? I don't think he's born in Kenya. He's a secret Muslim guy, not even American. And, everyone knows that that's completely false. And he just, when Obama had to get his driver's license, he had to turn in his birth certificate. I mean, everyone knows his mother was, a woman from Kansas. His father was born in Kenya, but he was born in Hawaii. It was just something that was axiomatically obvious, and it didn't require anyone to do it. But Trump, nevertheless, with this quasi-racist, everyone who's like card-carrying member of this Ku Klux Klan, they sure liked it. They were like, oh, that's pretty funny, even though we know that it was just, trolling. And he's never apologized for it. And so he's shifted our culture. Mike Vick had to apologize, right? So where's he apologizing? He never did. He's changing our culture. It's like, fight and double down and fight harder. Double down and fight harder, even if you're doing wrong. That's not the country I want to live in. That's not me, and will never be me. I will never like Donald Trump for that basic reason. There's other things too, but that basic reason. Don't let him shift the culture out from underneath you. There's that movie. I haven't seen it, but it was described to me, and I get the point. So I've been listening to the life story of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Boys in the Boat, 1936, right? It's a story of Jesse Owens, winning the gold medal. There was a German sprinter that befriended Jesse Owens and wrote, they exchanged letters and built a friendship and all that stuff. Of course, when things got real with the Nazis later on, they punished that white German sprinter for befriending Jesse Owens by putting him on the front lines, and he gets killed. And he was like a corporal or something. I think I looked it up in Wikipedia. The other part of the story of the Boys in the Boat was the judge who was watching the two boats go by with Adolf Hitler watching sees that the Americans won by so much. And he's been told he has to say that the Germans won no matter what. And he can clearly see the Americans won. And he's like, with Adolf Hitler looking on, he says the Americans won. And that guy dies on the Eastern Front. That's the story that I understand. Because the Nazis, as soon as they were able to, they had him killed. And so that's 1936. But Hitler wins the election in 1933. So that's the thing that over time, that's my greatest fear. That's the kind of thing that Trump's going to do. It's like, it's about power. It's not about truth or justice or anything else. It's about power. Think about all the guys he just let out, from the prisons for the January 6th riot. Those guys have an enormous amount of status in many places across the country. They walk in, they're one of the guys who got arrested, put in prison, then were pardoned. They got the pardon document. They start speaking. Everyone at the bar listens. Everyone at the restaurant listens because these are the guys. And here right now, they're MAGA supporters that were saying, I was wearing the red hat in 2016. You didn't start wearing it until 2018. I was wearing it even after he lost, and I kept wearing it, and you just stopped. And, these MAGA guys are going to be arguing about, where their status is with regards to Trump. And that's my biggest fear, is that these guys are going to continue to seek after power and not, respect the basic universal truths of justice, not the universal truths of truth. And the last and final fear I have, and I hope I'm wrong about all of this. God, I hope I'm wrong about all of this. But what was the scariest thing I heard in the whole Trump stuff is like, American greatness begins today, and expansion of American territory. He said it. I heard it. Expansion of American territory, huh? Okay. Yeah, we have the power to expand America territory by taking other things around us. Well, what are you doing? You're just giving permission to Vladimir Putin to keep doing it himself. You're giving permission to China to do it. Other powerful nations. Yeah, go expand and let's create a new Cold War. What about the strategic vision of Joe Biden was, no one should disrupt the status quo. What we got going on in the world is in balance. Don't throw it out of balance. And that strategic vision is going to get thrown out the door. Trump's a family man. He's got kids, right? Adolf, there was the point that one psychologist, Jordan Peterson, points out. Who I love to hate to love. Jordan Peterson says a lot of really good stuff, but he also says a lot of terrible stuff. And sometimes it's all about what he focuses on. He's like, why is he focusing on this when he should be focusing on that? But he is who he is. He said that, who knows, maybe Adolf Hitler, what he wanted is exactly what happened. Him to die of suicide in a bunker with all of Europe on fire around him. Maybe that's what he wanted. He deliberately picked a two-front war. He knew Germany was going to lose. He wanted Germany to lose. Made all these deficit spending promises in 1935, 1936, 1937, 1938. The only way to deal with that is war. Then you go full-blown war, and you ultimately just push too hard, and then you lose, and that's what happens. And so, the difference between him and our situation in a lot of ways is one where America is extremely powerful, and we might be able to do some of the things that we want to accomplish without war, but threatening it. And it's just that whole, going down that whole line. It just intimidates. It just scares me, the pants off me. I'm thinking like that one evil character from the horror novel Carrie Comfort, who says at the end of it, he says, I never said that I had to live forever, but who said the world had to survive me? And he was definitely in the book Carrie Comfort by Dan Simmons. That evil main character was definitely talking nuclear war. You know what I'm saying? It's like, those are my fears. And we know he's a master of propaganda. Look at the whole Christopher Wray having to resign thing. And what happened there? We all know what happened there. Trump took a bunch of documents back to Mar-a-Lago that he shouldn't have taken with him, right? The guy in charge of the National Archives sends him letters. You got to give me those documents. And Trump's like, no. And he knows why he's saying no. He knows why he's saying no because it's a minor violation of law, and people on the left are going to get all, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And then he can use that, persecution, weaponization of the Department of Justice. So he deliberately violated a not too important law so that he could claim weaponization of the Department of Justice. And he's just a propaganda genius. You know what I mean? And so the guy sends a letter, sends another letter, sends a third letter. Finally, the National Archivist guy's like, hey, he's not going to give me the documents. He turns the stuff over to the FBI. What's the FBI do? The FBI follows the law. They go and they present it to a grand jury. They present it to a judge for so that a search warrant can be signed. The judge is independent. Judges, because the old king, we wrote this in the Constitution that judges can never lose their pay, can never be told what to do. And that's because the king every judge, when they made a decision under the king, had to worry that the king would be upset with the decisions they make. So they always have to make good decisions because the king, But that's not how it works here. So the FBI presents the letters from the archivist and is like, hey, he technically violated the law. We know he has the documents. He won't give them to us. Maybe we go get them. And then the judge signs the probable cause search warrant supported by oath or affirmation, right? They go, they get the documents, they bring it out. The special prosecutor's appointed. He takes it to a grand jury, a full grand jury, indicts him. All the while, Donald Trump is laughing the whole way. Go ahead. Weaponization of the Department of Justice, when he was deliberately provoking it to happen to him. He was deliberately provoking the entire thing. The master of ambiguity. It's like Elon Musk in the whole Nazi salute thing. Was it really a Nazi salute or not? He knows what he's doing. He knows that it's plausibly deniable that it wasn't a Nazi salute. But at the same time, you get the support of all these far-right lunatics. Because they're like, yeah, it was a Nazi salute. Fucking asshole. All right, it's game on. Love y'all.